You might be right. Maybe this was all a fool's errand, exacerbated by us trying to find threats where there are none. Know this. My centuries of servitude and my own unforgivable failings all serve to make what I am about to proclaim the most discordant words to have ever passed my lips. All-consuming paranoia of ours. What does this megalomania drive us to such lengths? We've lied, most certainly. Lied, and lied, and lied. We've insisted upon our lies for so long that it's become the only thing our chapter truly cares for. To cover up centuries of shame. Is this really worth it? I know the Imperium cares not for the truth, but only for what it wants to be true. So why should we bind ourselves down to a truth so ancient when we can carve out a new truth in a new galaxy? Yes, we deserve this. We need not feel shame. We're absolved of our crimes, for we never fell in the first place. We are unforgiven, for there is nothing to forgive. Yes, yes!
Well, that's great. I love that. Excellent character development today.
Wait! Hold on.
What now?
What is that book you have there?
I don't know. It's just the secret, so that's inconvenient.
So Thursday, February 20th, Vita put out a video of Sequestria and cybersecurity. I've known something was in the works for a couple of days. I knew it was about Sequestria, but not much beyond that. The three people who teased any information were Leo Convoy Reviews, Shelly D, and Vita. Vita hyped it up as the best thing ever. I'm paraphrasing in regards to how big of a garbage fire that it would be, though if you can infer, he seemingly was giddy about the whole situation. So that's not entirely misleading. Sheldon towards the end said that not to get too hyped up, and Leo said that it would be important enough. By the time Thursday rolled around, hearing hints that it wasn't exactly illegal, kids weren't exactly in danger, and talking to one member on staff who told us very politely and helpfully that that one person being Queen Band-Aid Bliss, the security and the co-head of security. I didn't expect to find that much. Not to mention I'm typically not thrilled to be working with Vita. The fact I streamed with the man that Thursday should speak volumes on how bad this had to be. The con staff somehow managed to leak the Google Doc with about 38 people on it. No, that's what I saw on screen when I read it off. Vita stated in his video that the doc included full names, phone numbers, addresses, and emails. Additionally, Sequestria claims that the doc includes their resumes. We'll get back to that perhaps in a minute. I'll say that again. Sequestria just became the most prolific doxer on public record in the Brony fandom, and their con hasn't even happened yet. Vita claims in his video that he has a number of people up to about 50, not 38, with their fandom names showing in the doc that he provided. So if you believe the number is unreasonably high and you don't believe me or Vita, here's Sequestria's tweet addressing the matter. We are sorry to inform everyone that has applied for anything regarding us, that being Sequestria, such as staff, vendors, etc. Our documents were compromised. I guess that explains Vita's 50 as opposed to my 36 counting. Information that would be on this application involves legal names, resumes, phone numbers, addresses, etc. I wonder if they meant that was just emails or there's something else included in there. We have taken swift action to fix the breach and are taking proactive measures to ensure this doesn't happen again. It has been a couple of days. I was told that Vita had access during that time. Who knows who else did? See Equestria's last post. The privacy and information provided to us by our attendees, volunteers, and vendors remain a priority to us, and we will be putting in extra effort from now on to ensure that this is upheld. So, were the regular attendees doxed? I don't think it says that. Just food for thought. Naturally, I encourage everyone to reach out to Sequestria just to get that cleared up. I'm sure they'll be glad to answer all your questions. At the time of the video, it's now closed. The Google Doc with the info was still open and unsecured. Now, I haven't run a con. I'm not a legal expert, but some might argue the responsibility of the security of the Google Doc would go to the person who made it. Now, I'm gonna nitpick over some of the finer points in the video.
We also got access to their various contracts, specifically something titled the Noah King Agreement, which we have no qualms in leaking because 1, not our problem, 2, you absolutely have to see the retarded financial decisions these idiots are making. It's no wonder they depend on milking desperate bronies out of their money.
NoWhacking used to be a big name member of the community, most known for voicing Vinyl Scratch in whatever the fuck Vinyl Scratch was being voiced in. Nowadays, NoWhacking isn't exactly relevant to most people's interest.
Now call it a nitpick, but if we head over to Jesse NoWhacking's Twitter, we can see that they worked for Saber Spark, who had over 900,000 subscribers, Jax Films, who had 4 million subscribers, Team 4-Star that had 3 million subscribers. Keep in mind, I'm rounding down. So let's play that one more time.
Nowadays, NoWhacking isn't exactly relevant to most people's interest.
I know for a fact that Vita has watched Team 4-Star, so even if he wants to do the whole thing, well, I don't like it and it doesn't count, I've asked Vita personally about the major speech in Helsing, and the only version he's ever been aware of is the Team 4-Star version. But let's continue on.
Delve deep into the math of how much they've spent on her, shall we? First off, we have the plane cost coming in at $417.20. There's also an additional $60 payment NoWhacking will be given to pay for a pet sitter. That's $470.20 at this point, and already it's fairly certain that NoWhacking will not generate that in sales. But it doesn't end there. You also have to account for the hotel room, which will be split between 2 community guests. As a result, the $616.40 for the dates they'll be there is split in half. So that's $308.20 per person in said hotel room, combined with the earlier sum of $470.20 to get a total of $778.40 for a single person. Just wrap your head around that.
Before the stream, when I was setting up, I asked Vita, did he know what was the appropriate amount of money or whereabouts to pay a community guest to come out for a con? Keep in mind, I was still setting up, I hadn't hit record yet, I was scrambling, so you feel free to not believe me, but he said he didn't care. You might ask me, well, FNGR, with your research, what did you find out? What's a fair amount to pay community guests? Cons have non-disclosure agreements, which this one also has. The odds that someone is going to just give us that information that could cost them is pretty low.
Vita, I have a couple questions for you. Tell me, are you a member of the VIP Relations Leadership?
Bruh, I can't even manage my own relations, let alone VIP ones.
Are you an events department head or events programming staff?
I make shit happen that you could call events, but no.
Are you a convention chair?
I'd be a better one than their current ones, but also no.
Lastly, are you a CG and/or representative thereof?
Are you kidding me? Definitely fucking no.
Oh well, that sucks, because you know what that means? That means they broke their confidentiality agreement with this guest, because if you look at their confidentiality section in this agreement is to not be shared with anyone, unless they are one of those things I mentioned above. So I guess now they have to put you in charge of something to fix this mess? So pick your choice, Vita, what do you want to be? Want to be a con chair?
You're damn straight I do.
Speaking of which, there is an NDA. That's a non-disclosure agreement that the con had people sign. Now, contract law can be a very tricky thing. It's its own branch of the law. It's an own field of research if you want to be a lawyer who specializes in contract law. And to suggest that there was a breach of contract on the con's part, while that may seem obvious, the law can be sometimes counterintuitive. That said, I would suggest that everyone who's had their personal information leaked by the con seek legal counsel. After all, you have a confession from con staff. And some lawyers will take cases contingent on victory, meaning you wouldn't have to put up any money up front. It's kind of heartbreaking to see a con that aspired to replace BronyCon stumble as bad as this. But I went into that room the other day and I asked before the stream if any of the con wanted to talk. After I briefly talked to one member of staff, I was kicked. I found out that I had been banned from SeaquestriaFest before any of this. I sincerely keep mixing up SeaquestriaFest with Sea Bronies, the cruise run by, I believe it's Purple Tinker. I had no plans to attend, but all the same, I was kicked from the chat later on. There seems to be a ban list I'm on. Just full disclosure. My girlfriend Rouge was eventually kicked. Midheart was eventually also kicked. Cherry Days, who's a community guest, was allegedly kicked. I later confirmed that with her. Hateful Tate was kicked, so was Vita. So was Leo Convoy was also kicked. If you find that none of us are trustworthy, I've included a link to Seaquestria's Discord as it's publicly shared on their Twitter, where you can politely go into the server and ask yourself. Politely. As for Vita's video, I listened back through the part on Cherry Days. When we talked to Cherry, she was fairly forthcoming, and earlier in the week I asked her to come on when Vita was riding her ass earlier in that week to clear up some of this in advance. Truth is, there isn't that much to address in the video on Cherry. So whether fucking with Cherry was some kind of misdirection or Vita just got distracted, hell if I know. At this moment, I can't endorse or remotely suggest anyone go to SeaquestriaFest. My friend Samotlion got doxxed because of this nonsense, not to mention Brony Inspector's employer, Waffle Wishes. Keep in mind, I'm the last person to want to piggyback Vita. But whose fault is that? Seriously, this is the third time between Toon Critic, BronyCon, and now SeaquestriaFest. I'm not saying that I would have been the absolute best alternative decision, but there were other people that you could have gone to. But there were other choices. Leo Convoy, for example, or Brony Inspector would have probably been more than willing to put their time in when they given the opportunity. There needs to start being more alternatives, or this is going to keep happening. Critically speaking, yes, Vita should have come forward sooner with the information. I and a few other people have told him as much already. Because regardless of what Vita will or won't do with that info, anyone who had that link could have gone nuts by now. Aside to those people who have been doxxed, not that much is going to happen. No one personally has come to my house to kick my ass and I've been doxxed, and I can't imagine, so you're going to be fine. Knowing it's happened is going to piss you off. And there is one more thing that's happened to a lot of you, according to SeaquestriaFest, that the docs include your resumes. If that's true, there are people out there who will be able to contact your past and potential future employers. That's pretty fucking serious. One more time, I can't stress enough, please seek out legal counsel as soon as possible. Thank you.